It's got to be the right diameter. Fixing that. Let's see what happens. Alright guys, welcome to a new video. Today we're going to be working on the 1971 Yamaha CS200. As you guys know, I picked this up for really cheap, and we actually got it running last video. We put the battery in it, and the electric start actually worked, and it fired up, ran pretty good. We were just having some issues with the starter. So down here, underneath this case right here, there's a starter motor. It's like an old generator type, and it actually had, I'll go over here to my parts. By the way, new light, workbench, good to go there. I'll show you guys the parts I bought for this thing. So it needed this little piece for the starter, which is not cheap, I can tell you that. And then this piece, which is also not cheap at all, and really hard to find. Little spring, you guys can see that. So that spring, basically what it does is it pushes on this. It's called, I think it's called a brush. This is like a brush spring, and this is the brush. I believe it's the brush. And the spring pushes on that, and then makes contact with the somewhere like the shaft on the generator. So basically that's how that works. So we're going to be replacing these two parts today, and hopefully, fingers crossed, that will be fixed. And then we can take this thing for a rip. So I also got some vinegar for the gas tank. We're going to let that sit for probably a week. But we'll use the gas tank off the CR250 right here for a temporary gas tank so we can ride this thing. So it's going to look like a dirt bike going down the road, but you know, gotta do what you gotta do. So I think we're going to jump right into it. Try to fix that starter. Put the battery in. Fire it up. And see if we can get it running on the cylinder right here. Because last video that cylinder didn't really want to run too much. And I'm thinking it's got to do with that brush in there. So, without further ado, let's get going on this build. Should be a fun one. First ride coming up. So we're going to begin by getting this cover off of here. Let's see. I'm hoping we got the right parts and that spring is going to work in here. But I don't know. They were very hard to find parts for this thing, so I'm guessing parts are pretty rare. Let's see how it's looking underneath here. Oh, there's another little 8mm underneath here hidden. I think that's for that. Alright, so I'll show you guys what's going on here as best as I can. Alright, so this wire right here, that's where the brush, I believe it's called the brush, correct me if I'm wrong. I'll probably be saying it the whole video. But that's where the brush pushes into there, the little slot right there, and it makes contact with, I believe it's the shaft on this thing. So that was kind of broken, so wasn't really doing a great job. And then the spring actually sits right in here as well. So I'll kind of show you how the other ones are. So you can see right here, there's a spring right there, and one that sits, I think it's on the other side. You can kind of see the little spring right there. That's kind of what it's supposed to be doing, and then it pushes down. You see how it curls around right up here? It's hard to see. It curls around, pushes down on that thing, and that's how that thing works. So when you do the electric start, that needs to be contacted, and then the electric start works. So last video I had to take a screwdriver and manually push down that brush to hit that shaft so that electric start would work. But yeah, let's go grab the new parts and see if they fit on here. Alright, let's take that little guy off of there. gonna replace it with this little guy. Hopefully. Hopefully it's the right one. It's gotta be the right diameter. Let's see if it fits in there. Oh, the old one's still in there. Oh, I think it's gonna fit. Let's see if we can get the old one out of here. Need a flathead screwdriver for that. Oh. So this is the broken old one right here. It just came out of there. You can see it was completely broken. So it kind of broke. You can see right where the wire connected to on that thing. It looks like it's the same thickness, pretty close. The other one's a little bit thicker. So hopefully we won't have an issue with that. The black one's a little bit thicker. So I guess we'll find out here. Try to push that in there. Get the screw back on there. Better work. I think this part alone was like 30 bucks, so expensive for that small of a part. And then if you want to buy the whole generator, starter motor thing, it's like 350. So definitely not cheap. Alright, now we got the little spring right here. Let's open that guy up. Again, hoping that it's the right one. Alright, so that's gonna kind of sit in there. Looks like it might work. Okay. Hoping. Really hoping. Let me check the other one. Ooh. Looks a little different, but we'll try to install that and come back. It might take a little time. Alright guys, we got it all installed here. You can see the little spring pushing on that lever right there. And it looks pretty good. So all we have to do is hook up the battery and hopefully that thing works. And then what we're going to do is take this gas line and hook it up to this gas tank right here, which is all cleaned out. Let's see here. See what that will look like on the bike here. Oh yeah, that's gonna be pretty sweet. Oh man. That's gonna be looking good going down the road. We'll get that all hooked up. Just rinse out this gas tank one more time. And then we should be good to go for the first ride. Hopefully this fix also fixes the weird running on this cylinder. This cylinder had like 125 pounds of compression, so it should be running. I might take off the head quick and check it out just for, for fun. But yeah, let's actually take off the head because there are two individual heads right here. And just check out that piston because this thing was running really weird. All right, the battery's charging right now. So while the battery's charging, we're going to take off the head, take a look, because this cylinder has been causing us some issues, and I want to see what that piston looks like. I wonder what this thing's going to look like. Probably can't be that bad. There's 125 pounds of compression in there, so it wasn't too hard. Alright, let's see what happens here. So the head looks pretty good. Not too bad. Little dings in there, but not horrible. Let's see what the piston looks like. Alright, so this guy is on there. Piston has a little carbon on it, but not too bad. We'll try to turn over the motor here. Alright. Get this guy off of there. So that looks pretty good. Couple nicks in there. Nothing too crazy. So there's like a little nick right there from like a little piece of metal or something. Couple nicks on the sides. We'll take a wire brush and just clean that up a bit. But yeah, right there's a little nick. It looks like it's going in the right direction. So far the piston looks pretty good, probably better than what I even expected it to be. The wall looks really clean too. See if we can get a foam light on there. Yeah, no scratches in that baby. Wow, that's smooth. That's great. You guys can take a little bit better of a look. I mean, that's pretty dang good. No scratches whatsoever on that thing. Alright, well, there's no reason that should not run. It would have to be something with the carburetor, or maybe the coil up here. But, yeah. We'll maybe take a look at those wiring. See where those go to. Maybe it's just corroded in here. So we got to the coil right here. Two connections coming off of it, brown and orange. Let's just see what these look like underneath. See if these are corroded at all. Doesn't really seem like they're horrible. A little discoloring on the connections, but nothing crazy. What we can do is spray a little WD-40 down here, just to try to get that surface to be less corroded. Kind of twist it around in there, kind of like that. Okay, same thing with this one. That one's a little bit more corroded than this one. See what that looks like now. Alright, that looks pretty good. Tuck these guys back into here. Alright, that looks pretty good. Alright, so maybe that'll help. Let's put that head back on and test this thing out. Alright, we're going to try to hook up this this tank from the CR250 on here. Kind of looks weird, but basically we're going to hook this line up to the petcock right there. The line's a little bit thin for what that's supposed to be, so we're going to have to heat that up with a heat gun to get that on there. The original tank is over here. We're going to get that going with the vinegar over here. So what we're going to do is take the vinegar, put some nuts and bolts in the gas tank, and then mix it all up. Let that sit for about a week. Alright, let's add a little vinegar, see if it leaks out anywhere. See what happens. Not leaking yet. We'll stir that up a little bit, shake it up. Leaking a little bit out of the petcock. I'll lean it like that on that side first, and then we'll wait a couple days and tip it to the other side. I also fixed the little kick lever. I drilled a hole directly through it, so now there's no way that can strip because that hole goes all the way through. Not the cleanest fix in the world, but I had to do what I had to do. It'd be nicer if I could put that bolt all the way through. I'm gonna look for a bolt that goes all the way through so I can put a nut on the end of it and crank that thing down. But right now, you know, it does the trick. You can still kick it over. So what we're gonna do is mix up a little gas, put the battery in it, and attempt to take this thing for a ride. Should be very interesting. Got to pump the front tire. It's a little bit flat there, so a couple things we have to do before we can take this thing for a ride. I am not quitting until this thing goes for a ride. So let's get going on it. A little gas in here, see if the petcock works. Oh, yeah, that worked. All right, so the petcock worked. We're in business. Let's get the battery in there and try to start this thing up. Temporarily gonna put the battery on the outside of the bike. Just for now, I wanna see if the battery's charged up enough. For some reason, I'm having some trouble with these batteries. They keep on dying on me. I don't know if it's my charger or what's going on. But it's becoming pretty annoying. See if the electric start works here. No, electric start doesn't work. I guess we can try starting it up now. See what happens. See what happens here. Just broke the kick lever. That sucks. Alright, we might have to bump start this thing. Alright, so we got the battery in there, everything's hooked up, and check this out. 0 power to that thing. That's not good. So, I don't know what to do here. The kick lever doesn't work, and the electric start doesn't work. And I actually just went out and tried to bump start it. It was running for about a couple seconds, then died. So I don't know what's going on with it. I rode it for maybe 3 feet, and then it just shut off. So, I don't know if the wiring's messed up or what. I saw it was getting spark when I was jump starting it. And it was really good spark, so it's just really, really weird. I don't know what's going on with it. Yeah, so very interesting. I had the horn hooked up too, and now that doesn't work either. So I don't know if my battery's dying or what's going on. Let me just take a quick look at the battery and see if maybe that's the culprit. It's a brand new battery, so it really should not be the culprit. But we'll just check it out here quick. 7 volts? Check this out. You guys see that? My battery says it's only got 7 volts. Look at this. 7.04. That is incorrect. I don't know what's happening here. Let me try disconnecting those and see. What? My battery must be junk. What the heck? I literally just bought this battery. What? 8.58 volts? That is not correct. What the heck? 8.69? Yeah, the battery's junk. So what we're gonna do is go to Batteries Plus. Hopefully they give us a refund for that battery, and or swap it out. And we'll swap that in, see if we get anything to move here, because we did replace all those parts and it was not that cheap. And the battery was like 120 bucks, so oh, that's irritating. Alright, so we got the brand new battery from Batteries Plus. Just picked this thing up. I guess the cell was bad in the one battery, and what I think is happening is the bike is getting a false ground. So right now, when I hook up the positive to this is already negative, and that should be nothing, and then that should be positive when you hit that button, but it's already negative and sending a negative current all the way to the starter. So when you hit it, we're only getting like 5 volts of positive voltage going to the starter, and that's incorrect. I don't know what changed on this since last time. It's very strange. I don't know if that spring in there is causing something. It shouldn't, because it's not touching anything. But yeah, it's very, very odd. All right, it's about 4 days later. Probably worked on this bike a little bit each day, trying to figure out the problem with the starter, and I finally got it. So I took up this cover and this cover, and it ended up being behind the actual points plate. There's a coil of wires. That coil of wires was hitting a tiny little piece of wire that was poking through, and it was grounding out everything, and it prevented the starter from starting, the generator. So that was the whole problem. It took me a very, very long time to figure that out. It was buried underneath a lot of stuff. So yeah, I'm glad I looked, and we figured it out. It runs. This cylinder still doesn't run that great right here. We're going to take it for a ride now and see if we can get that thing to clear out and maybe pop over a couple more times. We've got the battery hooked up. We're gonna put the battery back into the battery box and try taking it for a ride. As you guys know, we have the dirt bike tank hooked up to it as well. So everything should be good. We'll start her up here quick, let her warm up, and then throw the GoPro on, take it for a little rip. It's only running on one cylinder, so I'm guessing it's not gonna go that fast, but at least we'll be able to ride it. Pump up the tire a little bit here. Alright, well, we rode it. It wasn't pretty, but we rode it for probably a good 10 seconds there. And it went pretty good on the one cylinder. It revved out, and then all of a sudden the starter stopped working again. So when you push that, nothing happens. And yeah, that's kind of where we ended things. I don't know what's wrong with it, and I'm not going to look into it. This thing is going up for sale for parts, and that'll be that. I'm sick of looking at it. I spent tons of hours diagnosing this problem, and I'm done with it. So I told you guys I would ride it, and we did. So I kept that promise, but now it's going, because I do not know what is wrong with it. And I don't want to look and find out. So anyway, guys, hopefully you enjoyed the video and learned something on this one. I know I did. I definitely learned how this whole electrical system works, and I did tons and tons of research to figure out what the problem was. So thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for subscribing. Until next time, we are out.